Let's go to the South Region. John Fanta, Houston, Duke, NC State, Marquette. We have two ACC teams. We have a Big East team, and we have the Houston Cougars. What are you looking for down here? I cannot wait, honestly, to see Houston and Duke. That is I think it's probably the most intriguing matchup for me in the Sweet 16, because you have the physicalness of this Houston team, you have the skill level of this Duke team, and you have the ACC against the Big 12 in the battle of the Titans.
Yes, I'm a little bit more intrigued by another game, which we'll reveal down the road. And I'll try to make the argument for it. But I am super intrigued by this Duke-Houston game. Why? Because I believe that the best thing that happened to Duke was losing in the ACC tournament quarterfinals. It was the first time since 2013 that Duke lost their first ACC tournament game. The time before they had that happen, John Scheyer was a freshman. And he said after the game, over the win over Vermont, in which Vermont played pretty disciplined, they just didn't make enough shots. And TJ Long got taken away in that game. Duke did a great job defensively. But I caught up with Scheyer in his back room, as he's getting ready to get on the bus and whatnot. And he just said, we had to have some very hard conversations about where we're at. And guys, I think we've all been talking about Scheyer here over these first 2 years about like him putting his stamp on things and this being Scheyer's team. I'll be honest with you. When I've watched Duke here for the majority of the last 2 years, I see John Scheyer walking the sidelines and I think he's filling in for a game. Like that's just where my brain wiring goes, because we've become so accustomed to seeing Mike Krzyzewski. I thought this weekend, for the first time in the John Scheyer era on this sort of stage, because they got swept by Carolina, I thought his team played like him. They played like him. They were an extension of him. Jared McCain came out and knocked down shots. By the way, that backcourt right now is playing as well as any backcourt in college basketball. They have it. Tyrese Proctor. I know.
Hey, no, I'm not. I'm rolling my eyes because Jared McCain, when he gets hot, is just unbelievable. His first half against James Madison, it was like the quick release on the shots. Like he catches it right here and it's up before you can even he just, when he gets going, man, like I don't know how many players are more dangerous than Jared McCain when he's cooking left in the NCAA tournament. If there's any, it's like you're talking about like 2 or 3.
And I don't want to talk any longer than this, but I think I'll lead to UTO on this. Jeremy Roach, Tyrese Proctor, like now Roach is more fit to him, to what he should be on a team. And he's playing well. He's playing well. I know for a lot of people, for a lot of months and last couple of years, people are like, Jeremy Roach has to be Duke's best player. No, he doesn't. He just has to do his thing. Tyrese Proctor has to do his thing. They're not over-relying on any one piece. That's what I like about this team. Kyle Filipowski did not make a field goal against Vermont, and Duke won handily.
Yep.
And to me, T.O., I don't know about you. I know Houston is tough, but Duke is playing defense. Duke is top 25 in the country in defense.
Yeah.
And to me, Terrence, I think Duke, when you look at Houston, let's face it, they are very backcourt reliant on their scoring. But Mark Mitchell's playing very well. Kyle Filipowski can get going. Like, I don't know about you, but I like Duke offensively more than I like Houston offensively. Am I wrong?
No doubt. Yeah, I agree with that. And there were some big games had by Houston. And by the way, what a story for Houston to even get to that point with the walk-on coming in at the end of the game and knocking down 1 or 2 free throws. I thought that was really cool. But to go along with what John say, what John's done, or John Scheyer has done over the past couple of years is, you're right, it is his team now. I think last year kind of it was starting to get that way, and you like the way they played. They had rim protection. They were a little bit longer. This year, they're a little bit more offensively oriented, and that's okay, especially when you have a top 20 defense. That certainly helps.
Right.
There's a couple of things, and I agree with John whenever we say they're playing like Scheyer. They have guys on the floor that's an extension of him. I agree with that. I don't want to discredit whatever what he was able to do last year and into this year. Because whenever you have new players coming in, you have to adapt to your new players. Last year, it was a defensively dominant Duke as far as having Derek Lively come in, play really well late. This year, it's more offensively oriented. Get out in transition, find Jared McCain on the wing, and let that man cook. It's just a matter of one, him being able to adapt, and it really is John Scheyer's team now. Like, I'm not going to say K is a distant memory, but he's now a memory in the same vein as Roy Williams is now a memory, because Hubert's done a nice job over there too. It's John Scheyer's team, and we don't see. We've been talking about Greg Campy the whole time, about him being there for 40 years at Oakland, and what a great story that is. This, that, and a third. There's not going to be many more 40-year coaches. Go ahead and get used to John Scheyer, because he might be the next and only one I can think about, because he's going to be good for a long time, and he's going to be there, and he's going to continually adapt. That's the thing that is so intriguing about watching Duke play and the development over 2 years, because he's adapted throughout the course of the season.
I think the really interesting part about this, and I agree with everything you guys both just said. I think a really interesting part about this matchup between Houston and Duke is like the thing that we could knock Duke on all year was, can they handle a certain level of physicality? Can they handle a certain level of if things go wrong for them during a game, right? And I don't know if we necessarily saw that much during the regular season. And honestly, like, I don't know if we've necessarily seen that yet from them in the tournament setting, but they are here in the Sweet 16, and now they have a chance to prove themselves. Are you worried about the toughness and the physicality that they're going to have to deal with going up against Houston TO? You're muted. TO is muted.
What was the question?
What was the question? Say the question again.
The toughness and physicality of Houston.
That's just, I mean, it's certainly a concern. The thing with Duke is it's like there's so much individual offensive talent. Like Jeremy Roach, if this was years ago and he didn't have injuries, like, he's a point guard's point guard. Like those guys have fallen out of favor in the NBA, but that dude can create a look. McCain can create a look. Like, they have so many guys that can do it on their own. Filipowski's a nightmare to game plan for, because he's so good offensively. I have Duke going to the Final Four. I think they beat Houston because they just have enough offensively in order to get to 65 points, to where in the half court can Houston. Yeah, they can, but will they? I think that's kind of I don't know. This is a tough one, but I think great offense beats great defense every time.
Well, yeah, but Houston.
That's me, though.
Right. But yeah. Houston did score 95 or 100 in their last game.
Yeah,
I mean,
but will they go 2 overtimes?
Sharp's playing great.
Yeah, he is.
He's playing terrific. And we know Cryer. I just think, for me, the question that I would have is Houston in the front court. You know, will they win that matchup over Mitchell and Filipowski? I mean, can they do it? Can Francis be able to hold his own and lock them down? And maybe they will. But I got Rob, the hot team. It doesn't help
that Robert says that it's the bone bruise, right, that he's dealing with, or shin bruise, whatever it is. He's got some kind of he's definitely not 100% at this point, which is not what you want going up against Kyle Filipowski.
Rob, the hot team here is Duke.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But are you buying them enough to say that they win?
I think that I would not be shocked if they won.
No,
I think Houston will be like a 3-point favorite. And if you're going to give me 3 points in Duke, I think I probably want to be on the Duke side at this point. How about NC State Marquette, guys? I think that this is where the run ends for NC State. As much as I love DJ Burns, as much as I love that front court, I just have a very difficult time seeing them be able to deal with how spread out and how talented Marquette is offensively. I think this is a really, really tough matchup for them. But if you're an 11 seed that 2 weeks ago was not even in the NCAA tournament picture, and now you're playing in the Sweet 16, like, you're playing with house money. You're playing with vending machine money. DJ Burns on vending machines. You got to love it.
Yeah. Guys, as much as I love the front court of this NC State team, obviously DJ Burns, walking refrigerator with ballerina feet, aka walking vending machine with ballerina feet. You know he owns vending machines, Fanta. Did you see this?
I saw
quality. There's nothing more perfect. There's nothing more perfect. And what an investment vending machines are. If you have time to go fill them up, not terrible. Just throwing that out there. Here's my thing. I love the front court. I feel like some of those guys, like Ben Middlebrooks came in that first round, played great. And I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't think Danny Cannell's not going to like this, but I didn't think Ben Middlebrooks could score 21 points by himself in the gym. And yet here he was, had a great game off the bench. I mean, as good as you could really ask for. That's kind of what you need in the tournament. You need somebody unprecedented to step up. And buddy, did he ever. And I'm having what Muhammad Diarra has been the underrated piece of this whole thing. The dude boards, he defends at an incredibly high level. And you don't think Mizzou could have used that guy? They certainly could have. Marquette's a different beast. And they have so many guards and so many ways to attack you with speed. You're almost looking at what a really good 1990s basketball team would be against a 2020s basketball team is. And I think it's going to be fun to watch. I think it's going to be an interesting thing, but I think Marquette offensively, they space you out. They do so many things. It's going to be a really tough draw for NC State, especially if you're playing 2s against 3s. And some of those 3s are going to be wide open for Marquette.
Yeah, that's where I tend to fall on this matchup. Fanta, real quick, can Marquette get to a Final Four? Can Marquette beat the winner? If assuming they get past NC State, do you think that Marquette can beat the winner of Houston Duke?
If the winner's Duke, I would feel as though Marquette would have a decent, good chance. If the winner is Houston, I worry about Marquette against the physicality and toughness level that Houston presents in a game. And I would be a little bit concerned about Kolek and Jones getting into trouble finding space to get clean looks off. Marquette they are a team that dances offensively. It's like a dance. They move so well. Kolek is such a good passer. Some of his passes, Paul, I did not say that Duke is soft. We have a listener. I don't think that Duke is soft. I don't think that Duke is soft. I think that Duke is a very good team. And I think that they can really score the ball well. And I do think they guard. When you are playing Houston, it is an absolute root canal colonoscopy at the same time. It's not fun.
That sounds painful.
Getting a root canal and a colonoscopy at the same time.
I mean, so what that means, what that says is you're getting it from both ends. Is that what that means?
Terrence, please.
You said it, not me.
No, you said that.
No, you said you're going to get it on offense and defense. I don't know where your mind's at, but I'm thinking hoops.
I don't know that. I'm not going to say anything else. Okay. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe you know that feeling. I do not.
Oh, man. All right, Marquette can make a Final Four.
Hold on.
To me, Marquette can beat. They could beat Duke. I don't think they could beat Houston. But you're asking, can they get to a Final Four? Here's the deal: when you get to a Sweet 16, you can get to a Final Four. You can. When you get this far out, you can. By the second week, that's why everybody's celebrating. That's why everybody's celebrating when you see these locker room scenes. Even the great teams, getting to a Sweet 16 is freaking hard. We start with 362 teams. You're one of 16 left standing. So Marquette can. You know why Marquette can, Rob? Their point guard on any given day can be the best point guard in the country. And a lot of people said this over the weekend. A lot of guys come back from injury and they show rust. But
he did for the first half, I thought. I thought it took him a half to get going.
He did against Western Kentucky. And then
for the first half of the first game. That's kind of what I'm alluding to. It didn't take long though. My God. He's unbelievable. No, you're right though, John. You have to play both ends of the floor to reach the Final Four.